We did a story on masks. Actually, you did a story on masks.
Yeah, I did a story on masks. I unmasked the environment because, for example, because we're living in a very dire situation where everyone has to put on a mask, but we don't know where a mask goes. At the end of the day,
the threat to the environment.
Exactly.
Some of these masks are decomposable. It sounded like good politics for the government to say we're going to buy 35 million masks. No one asked them.
Where is it
after wearing this mask, where am I going to put it? You're creating a crisis. You called it a mask pandemic. You created another pandemic for the environment.
Yes. Does someone in Chukuba understand that a mask if they dump it somewhere, will it create a crisis or not?
Did you know that when we were in elections last year, not one politician had a mention of climate change?
Even your favorite politician?
Okay. I know. And we should be consulted. We should be stakeholders. In fact, we are. We're about to give birth to children. What kind of planet are we going to leave for them?
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm not so bad.
My name is Alex Taremwa.
My name is Nimusiima, and I am the co-founder of
The Last Drop Africa.
Welcome to The Last Drop podcast. It's been forever, man. Congrats. Well, we've been cooking this for a while now, and thankfully it's up and running.
Finally here.
So what does The Last Drop Africa do?
The Last Drop Africa is a product of the Green Journalism Uganda Limited. We are a climate change storytelling platform that focuses only on environmental issues. So we do this in 3 ways. The first is through text on our website, which is lastdropafrica.org.
Okay.
We publish in-depth analysis, articles, interviews on there. The second now is a Last Drop podcast. This.
For the longest time, climate has been a mzungu thing, and it has been complex. You look at it and you switch off immediately. So that's how we come in as Last Drop Africa podcast. Our role here is to dissect and make climate change issues very tangible and very easy to understand for everyone, from Muntu Awansi, someone from Bushenyi, someone from Chiruhura, someone from Gulu, that they can understand the situation that we are in.
So we're going to break the ice, split the atom, break these concepts into small, granular, understandable phenomena that we interact in our daily lives. That we interact with in our daily lives. Like that story we did about grasshoppers.
Yes, because for the longest, last year, I drove around, I couldn't find a last insane.
And if you could find it, in how much it was?
It was about what? 20K?
Compare it with our childhood moments.
It was about 1K, 2K.
You see?
And
that's not the only one.
Yes.
We did a story on masks. Actually, you did a story on masks.
Yeah, I did a story on masks. I unmasked the environment because, for example, we're living in a very dire situation where everyone has to put on a mask, but we don't know where a mask goes. At the end of the day,
the threat to the environment.
Exactly.
Some of these masks are decomposable. It sounded like good politics for the government to say we're going to buy 35 million masks. No one asked them.
Where is it
after wearing this mask, where am I going to put it? You're creating a crisis. You called it a mask pandemic. You created another pandemic for the environment.
Yes. Does someone in Chukuba understand that a mask if they dump it somewhere, will it create a crisis or not?
You've spoken Runyankore, and I've remembered the campaigns that we're about to roll out, especially in Kazo, our home constituency, our home district.
I can't wait for it, man.
Me neither. We are starting at home with the campaigns that are not exactly storytelling, but we want people to know that everyone has a responsibility towards making the environment safer, more sustainable, adaptive. And the most easier solution to reducing temperatures is actually planting trees.
Yes, because last year, I remember, there was a lot of echanda. I remember my parents were asking me, our cattle, they don't have water. You understand?
Did they mention how much charcoal is being burnt in that district?
Exactly. They couldn't see why they don't have water.
Is there a law in Uganda that stops people from cutting trees to burn charcoal?
I wish there was a law.
Why is that trade still booming?
That's when politicians come in.
We have laws. We have a law against polythene bags.
Does everyone understand that?
Haven't you seen supermarkets having these polythene bags? They're everywhere.
That's how our podcasts come in.
If you cannot implement a law it must be now the onus of me as a person. Actually, I for one, when I go to supermarket, you don't pack for me any stuff in a Kavera and I'll take it. I go with my own packaging, so you put for me.
Because you see, solutions are around us. Solutions are in our hands.
And there are lots of young people who are coming up with all these innovations, but they don't get as much media presence as they should.
Like last time, we went to that art exhibition. So what that young lady was doing with
amazing stuff,
recycled
amazing stuff,
plastics.
Yeah, there are so many young people in Uganda, and then there are politicians who are out in parliament, and no one is even asking how much money in the national budget this year will be going to climate change.
Maybe they don't have platforms.
There's that, but also, did you know that when we were in elections last year, not one politician had a mention of climate change
in
their manifesto?
Politician.
Okay. I know, and we should be consulted. We should be stakeholders. In fact, we are. We're about to give birth to children. What kind of planet are we going to leave for them?
Because, Alex, you see, this world is not for me and you.
Yeah, I'm not here forever.
It's for everyone.
Even in biblical terms, God put us here to be stewards, to protect this stuff.
Hey, you know your Bible, right?
But now it's been us who have literally robbed the planet of the life that God put in it.
So when we kill this off, where do we go? Mars?
Mars.
Jupiter?
Of course, if you're Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, you can afford a plot on Mars. But at Taremwa, Nakaunde, Sekanjako, Nimusiima.
Do you know Julio?
How?
They cannot. They don't have Rukumi for.
You can't even afford a plot. You can't afford a plot of land here. How will you get one on Mars?
Exactly.
So we need to put in the work. We need to collaborate. We need to partner. We need to know that the solutions are within our hands, and most of them are actually not expensive to do.
Yes.
It doesn't cost you money to dispose your Kavera very well. It doesn't cost you money to dispose of your mask very well.
Yes.
It doesn't cost you money to not throw a plastic bottle out of a car
through a freaking window.
And then tomorrow you'll be like, oh, flooding in Kampala. Who caused it? It's not Museveni. It's you. So change your behavior, and that will have an exponential change or effect. It will ripple around the community.
Yeah.
People go to Rwanda, hey, this country is clean. Why can it be here? It's implementing.
This is not Rwanda.
The border's open. It's implementing small laws, So we're going to work with politicians. We are going to, I hope at some point, if things fail, we can draft our own bills, table them to parliament.
Exactly.
We can collaborate on many projects like these school campaigns we're having. Go to a school and teach the next generation how to behave better than the previous generation, because they are the ones who are going to be the custodians of the earth now.
Yeah, and we have to actually give respect to some people that are actually doing something.
Yes.
Like, for example, Tasa Butonde.
I
think it's a brilliant initiative.
It's a very good campaign.
Yes, I see what Nema is doing, but there's many players need to actually come through together so that we can rid the world of this crisis that we're actually in.
We've been having conversations with even the Church of Uganda, the Catholic Church.
They're the biggest. They have biggest platforms.
And the church is almost one of the biggest landlords in this country. If you use some of that land to plant some of these trees and some of their schools, to move some of these messages, we'll be getting somewhere.
Exactly. So at Last of Africa, this is not for me and you. It's for everyone out there. So if you have something that you want to air out about climate, please walk in. Where are we located?
We're located in Chiwatle, in Kampala, but then we're coming to the place near you.
Yes.
For example,
on social media. Yes, we are on social media. On Facebook. But Facebook is what? It's
blocked.
It's blocked. But on Twitter, for now, on Twitter, follow us at
Last Drop Africa,
and on Instagram, Last Drop Africa as well. Our website is up and running. You can submit your stories.
Yes.
Anything you want to air out about climate.
And every Friday, this is very exciting. Every Friday, we are answering a climate question. You submit something that has been bothering you. You can understand it very well. We shall have an expert on this table, on this microphone, on this podcast, answering that question.
Exactly. So what are your last words?
My last words is we have no other planet, man. We have to put our efforts together We have to work with people we never thought we would work with, because climate change doesn't have political affiliation.
No
it doesn't
way.
have religion. It doesn't have gender. This is a global phenomenon, and it's coming for us faster than we can. Did you ask yourself why every year is the hottest year for some reason?
Do you ever pause and ask yourself why?
And ask yourself where it's going to stop. Assuming you reach that 1.5 degrees Celsius hotter by 2030, what will the world be like?
Hot as what?
That is what we are about to break it down to you. And what can we do about that? Is why we have this podcast.
Solutions are around us. It's me and you to actually make a change.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening and watching out there. This is the first of many editions.
Of course, the very first. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming. Subscribe and follow Let's Drop Africa on social media.
I'm Alex Taremwa.